Good seeing you.
Good to see you, man.
Thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having me
Still
on.
got that angry face, man. Look
Not
at you.
really, man.
And
Yes,
life
you
is
do.
good.
Listen,
This
man.
is a linebacker. That's
My
what this is.
my life is so good, man. It's almost criminal. What in the world do I have to be angry about?
You're right. But what we're saying is you have a presence that you walk in a room and it's like, yep, let me leave.
That's a linebacker right there.
Yeah.
He was afraid to come over the middle and say hi to you. He thought you might tackle him.
Got to deal with it.
All right, so you still in Philly? You close to Philly?
I work in Philly.
You do?
Yeah, I live in Arizona, but, during the football season, I spend about half the season in Philly, half the season in
Smart man not living in Philadelphia. See, I told you, even guys that work in Philly don't want to live there. Philly feels right now like they're being disrespected. No one gives us a shot. No one loves our coach. No one thinks Jalen Hurts is the guy. And I think that's ridiculous because everyone respects what's gone on in Philadelphia. But walk me through why they're trying to wear that chip on their shoulder and where that's coming from, because I don't know who's disrespecting them.
No, they're not. I mean, come on. This is the only team that went 12-0. This is the only team that got to 14-1. This is the only football team, that just took off this year.
Right.
Nick Sirianni takes over a team that was in shambles last year, squeaks into the playoffs, the 7th seed, and all of a sudden you go from the 7th seed one year to the number 1 seed the next year, but you're not even on the finalist list for, NFL Coach of the Year. So there is this level of disrespect. Brandon Graham, this year, 34 years old, coming off of an Achilles tear, having the kind of year that he had in his 13th year, yet Saquon Barkley is on the list as a comeback player when he came back last year. So there's some disrespect there, and it's real. But, in Philly, we thrive off of that kind of stuff. You guys just keep doing it, and we'll keep proving you wrong.
You're one of us guys now. You're in the media.
The same exact way everybody went in on Jalen Hurts last year. Oh, he can't do this, he can't do that, he can't do this. Now he's the MVP candidate. No one's saying that, hey, I got it wrong. You just stood on that pedestal and you talked about what a man could and couldn't do last year, and you won't give him credit for what he's done this year.
Jalen Hurts had a great year, albeit with the softest schedule in the history of the NFL.
You play who you play.
Right, it's not the Eagles' fault that the schedule was what it was. I agree with you now. My memory of you is that you're one of those guys, you kind of ran the locker room. All right, especially as you became a respected veteran. You obviously played with some of the greats, and Jerome Brown, may rest in peace. Reggie, may rest in peace. Byron Evans, I could go on and on. Eric Allen, Andre Waters, Wes Hopkins. You had a great defense, but you were a leader in that locker room. If a guy like A.J. Brown, during a playoff win, was pouting on the sideline about, I'm not getting enough touches, I'm not getting enough targets, how would you have handled that privately in a locker room after the game if you became aware of it?
Well, I respect the way that Nick Sirianni handled it. And I'm pretty sure that, A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts being best friends, they talked about it. I'm pretty sure that it wasn't just the fact that he wasn't getting the ball. There was probably some frustration because, he had some physical things that were going on. But, this diva right here will tell you, when you're in a game as a wide receiver and you're the number 1 wide receiver and he was the number 1, he wasn't happy, not getting targets. A.J. Brown's used to getting 10 to 15 targets a game. I think he got like 6 targets in this game.
5 or 6, yeah.
So, it's really in the moment. I don't get the sense that, A.J. Brown's going to be a problem. I get the sense that, he wants to be part of the solution rather than part of the problem. And the emotion of the moment between not getting the targets and, not being 100% healthy got the best of him.
I don't disagree with you that he won't be a problem. However, when you're on a run that's special, and they're on a special run, they have something in front of them that they can accomplish, that they can remember for a lifetime, you can't make it about you. Like, period. No one that's watching him play all season long doubts that they should get him the ball.
Right.
Like, we all know that.
Right.
You don't have to go and say it. Let us say it. You got to get A.J. Brown the ball. If you want to be successful, if this team wants to be successful, especially in the passing game, we know they're going to run the ball. A.J. Brown, we don't see them not being successful without getting him involved somehow.
Seth, here's the question for you. I know in Philly it's going to be a jaded conversation. Of course, we're going to beat Brock Purdy in San Francisco. They're getting their Winnebagos ready to drive out to Arizona and getting fights out there. But the reality is that this will be by far the best team they have played all year, as it should be, NFC Championship game.
Right.
But you've watched a lot of Brock Purdy. Sure, your defensive mind is trying to figure out, what do I do to stop Brock Purdy, to make him bothered, to make him uncomfortable? What's your take on what Philly needs to do? Because the kid shows a lot of poise, and obviously he hasn't lost yet.
Well, he has looked phenomenal. But I think if you delve a little deeper into the film last week, you will find that there were times in the first half of that football game where both he and Dak Prescott seemed rattled and were very skittish. I give Kyle Shanahan a lot of credit, because what he did at halftime is they adjusted their game plan. And, San Francisco is not trying to take the top off your defense. They're trying to matriculate the ball down the field. They're trying to convert, first downs and just slowly but surely eat up clock, and dominate possessions. The way they do that is they're going to run the ball on first or second down. They want to get in second and 5 or 6, then get in third and short, and convert third downs and keep moving the ball down the field. So what you have to do is you got to commit 5, 6 in the box, 7 in the box to be able to get the run under control, where you get them in second and long and third and long situations. Now, Brock Purdy's got to wait for those routes to develop down the field, and you got a chance to get Hassan Reddick and Josh Sweat and all of these guys at him.
Yeah, but you would have loved playing behind that defensive line. You might have had 25 sacks in the season.
Hey, listen, man, the line I played behind is arguably one of the greatest lines ever assembled. I didn't want to play behind these guys right now.
Right.
I had Reggie White, Clyde Simmons, Jerome Brown, Mike Pitts, Mike Golick. Why would I want to play behind this line?
Well, I wasn't comparing it to the line you played behind. Okay. I'm just saying it would have been a good line to play behind. Not that yours wasn't a great line also, right?
Yeah, I get it.
And I got a problem with you anyway. Okay. And I have not seen you in a long time. But 1995, you're playing for the Arizona Cardinals. I'm pretty sure Buddy was the coach, right? Mm-hmm. So you went with Buddy Ryan out to Arizona. You're playing the Philadelphia Eagles. So we come out. I was traveling and covering the Eagles at the time. And you were very nice. You came out after practice, and you met a bunch of us in the parking lot just to kind of say hi to the guys that had covered you for a number of years. It's 80 degrees in the desert. You came out with some god-awful lime green suit on, green on green on green. And I always wanted to ask you about who your stylist was, because it was problematic for me. Hey, and do you remember the outfit I'm talking about?
I do not remember the outfit. Good. But you know what?
It's forever burned into my brain.
I'll tell you what you do. Go over to my Instagram page on Seth Joyner show on Instagram. You want to see some fly clothes, man? Go over there.
Who's wearing them?
I'm wearing them.
All right, let's talk with Seth about Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, blows so many teams out. His numbers may not be really indicative of what he's done. Even against the Giants last week, I've been mocking him, of course. He only threw for 150 yards. What?
Oh, now you're just mocking him.
I'm mocking him.
Seth is here.
Hold
on. Wait a minute.
I know. You don't even have to go there. He's trying to tread lightly with me. Because he's afraid I'm going to give him one of these one of these forearm shivers. But go ahead.
I'm not afraid. You're just the man, Rock. You're just the man. I don't know who did this, Seth.
What moron would do something?
Somebody on this show said if you were going to rank the remaining quarterbacks, you'd rank them in that order. Mahomes 1, Burrow 2, Brock Purdy 3, Jalen Hurts 4. And that's only because Jalen Hurts, as you may know, I'll show you the stat right here, fewest passing yards in a playoff win in the last 6 years. It's him, Blake Bortles. I mean, that's the company he's in. Jimmy Garoppolo and Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, but that's fine, because you want to know something. I believe that. I think that when you throughout the regular season, what you see is, everybody wants to throw the ball all over the map. But I think once you get down to the final two, when you get down to the NFC and AFC Championship games, you've got the best players with the best coaches, the best coordinators. And it always comes down to, no matter how much everyone wants to make the NFL about the passing game and the quarterback is important.
Sure.
if the team who can run the ball and control the clock, and the team who can stop teams from running the ball, 9 times out of 10 are going to be the team that still wins. Now, we'll still look at the passing yards, and we're all slanted towards that because, we're in that quarterback, it's a quarterback-driven league and all that kind of stuff. But pressure makes pipes burst. And if I got a team that can't run the football, and I'm a creative defensive coordinator, then I can stress you, and I can speed up your clock. Now, there's only a handful of quarterbacks, left in the playoffs. Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes,
right? Jalen and Brock.
Jalen Hurts. To me, those 3 guys are pressure adverse because when you watch them play, no matter what you throw at them, they don't get skittish. They don't get out of sorts. They're just even keeled at all time. I can't say that about Brock Purdy.
Because you haven't seen enough of him, or because you have seen enough and you've seen him react in a manner that makes you not trust him in that spot.
The only time I've seen him stress is in the first half of the wild card game against Seattle in the first half last week. It's the only time I've seen him stress. And each time, Kyle Shanahan has had the ability to pull him out of that stressful situation with Deebo Samuels in the backfield, with McCaffrey in the backfield, with Elijah, Isaiah. Gosh, what's his name? What's his last name?
Running back.
Well, go ahead.
No, you're thinking about Kansas City. I'm thinking.
Troy, who's Seth trying to come up with?
Elijah Mitchell. There you go.
Full one machine here.
So he's been able to rescue his quarterback,
right,
and put him back in management mode, by running the football.
It seems like you're not doing it on purpose, but you don't think a lot of Brock Purdy, and I say that, which is interesting to me because with Brock Purdy as the quarterback of San Francisco, they have the best offense that, scoring-wise, of any team in the NFL, not just the 4 remaining teams. So I'm trying to figure out in my head as you're talking, and I respect what you're saying because you did it, the disconnect between what you're saying and what I've seen. He struggled against Seattle. He threw some balls against Dallas that should have been picked off. Obviously, Diggs drops the easy one on his own 5-6 yard line. But, man, they average over 30 points a game. So whatever Brock Purdy's doing or the situation that Shanahan's putting him in, it's working. Like, what can Philly do to stop that? Because ain't nobody stopped it.
It is working. But, I don't think Seattle's a juggernaut. I think that Dallas got gassed. You came out after halftime, they ran the ball so much at them, they had no answer for it. And you could just see slowly but surely the life bleeding out of that Dallas Cowboys defense.
You hate Dallas.
This defense, I do.
You hate the Cowboys. Like when you go to bed at night.
No, it ain't that serious. I do not think about the quarterback.
On the Dallas Cowboys.
I do not think about the Dallas quarterback, the Dallas Cowboys before I go to bed.
You do. You've never gotten that Philly blood out of your system. You got indoctrinated into Cowboy hatred.
I don't like them. I'm not the only person. You like the Cowboys?
He don't mind the Cowboys.
I really
don't
hate
care. The Cowboys.
But all I hear,
you gotta get hate out of your
heart.
What
I do hear is, man, this is Philly till he dies.
That's really what I'm saying.
Because, listen,
it's okay.
Greg and I work together. The one thing that I am is I'm a realist. I'm a football analyst. I look at all teams. It's not just Philly. And I've been known to look at the Cowboys and their defense the last couple of years and give them credit for having a great defense. Mm-hmm. When the Dallas Cowboys decided to let Amari Cooper go, it was the downfall of that offense.
Yeah,
because with him in that offense, they were one of the most potent offenses, in the National Football League. But the truth of the matter is, when you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, they're ranked number 2 behind the San Francisco 49ers in defense.
Well, they haven't played anybody.
Well, doesn't matter.
I mean, you played you played Houston,
the teams,
Tennessee, Indianapolis.
The teams that San Francisco played, they got blown out by Kansas City.
So that's my issue with that. That's my issue with your stance with that. When you say Philly didn't play anybody, when you look at San Francisco's list of teams that they played this season, you take away Kansas City. Who did they play?
I've got a narrative I'm trying to sell the American people, and that is that Philadelphia played nobody. You get manicures now? Well, your nails are polished. Look at you. What happened to you?
I always take care of myself.
I always thought I could count on you. Seth Joyner.
I always
you get
take care of myself.
pedicures?
Are you kidding me?
You're soft. What happened? You're not the guy I used to know.
Really?
Manicure, you get pedicures.
You never saw me play a game without gloves on. You don't want to know why?
Why?
See them hands? See how nice those hands look? I want to make sure those hands look good after I retire.
Hey there. Thank you so much for watching The Carton Show. You can subscribe right here to get all the latest bits and segments from the show. And by the way, while you're at it, we have a lot of great shows on FS1, so check them out too.